everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a deck profile for Rayquaza VMAX. I'm so excited to show you guys this video and this deck. I meant to put this video earlier, but I've been working pretty much all day on this Rayquaza list. There's been a lot of different chinks and things that I have to go through because it's definitely a really interesting card, and I think for it to be really decent, very powerful, you have to build around it right. So yeah, we have Rayquaza VMAX. It's a very, very powerful new VMAX Pokemon, which is actually a Dragon type. Dragon types are back in the Pokemon TCG. There's also Duraludon VMAX, which is a Dragon type, a whole bunch of other Dragon Pokemon, like Altaria and Dragonite V, so that is really, really cool. This Rayquaza is like the main card of the set, the main card they're going to be pushing to be very, very good. But we have no weakness, which is huge. I think every single VMAX that has been revealed so far has had a weakness, but since we have no weakness, that is huge. That means we're almost never, ever going to be one-shot, which is nuts, because we can one-shot VMAXs ourselves. But to start off, we have an ability, Sky High Waves, that once we return, we can discard our entire hand and draw 3 cards. So, say our hand isn't up to par what we want, or we have a dead hand, we can just discard it and get 3 new cards, maybe drawn to something like a research. Very, very powerful, and it's not limited to once a turn, which is crazy. You can get 2 of these Rayquaza VMAXs out and do a Dedenne, basically, every single turn. On our attack, very, very reminiscent of the old Rayquaza EX. VMAX Burst. For a lightning and a fire energy, we do 20 damage, and we do 80 more for each. We can discard any amount of lightning or fire energy cards from the sky, but you can only choose one. So you either choose you want to discard any amount of fire or any amount of lightning, and then you do 80 damage plus 20, so you do 20 damage plus 80 more damage for each one you discard. Sorry, it's kind of confusing to state. You may discard any number of basic fire or lightning energy from this Pokemon. This attack is 80 damage for each card, but you have to choose one of them to use. So that is the VMAX. Very, very powerful. You have an unlimited damage cap potentially if you can load a whole bunch of either fire or lightning energy on the sky. And our ability can draw a whole bunch of cards, so that's going to be really, really cool. So starting off the deck profile, we have good old Rayquaza VMAX. We're going to have 4 copies of them in this deck, because we want to get a whole bunch of draw going, and just we want to be able to draw into them in general. I mean, Rayquaza only draws 3 cards, so we're looking to set up another Rayquaza using the Rayquaza we already have established. We want to be able to draw into it, and we want to save our evolution instances for another evolution that we're going to be playing that is going to be very, very important. So, yep. We have a 4 line. Now, the V is actually not too bad in its own right either. These guys here. This has Dragon Pulse for lightning. You do 40 and discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Not real great. But then our attack, fire, and lightning, we do 20. It's basically the VMAX. You have to choose one and discard all of them, or discard any number of them, and you do 80 for each one, except you're limited to 2. Which means that this V has a damage cap of around 180, which is, a lot worse than Rayquaza VMAX. If you can get 4 energy on this Rayquaza VMAX, you're one-shotting everything in the game, which is, nuts. This guy, you can only do 180, which is two-shotting VMAX Pokemon you're up against that might not be able to one-shot you. 2 Spiral Bursts for discarding 2 energy could just KO them, which is really, really nice. The other Pokemon we have to play is Flaaffy. This new Flaaffy is crazy. It is basically Malamar. Malamar with Psychic Recharge, attach a Psychic Energy for your discard pile to whenever your Pokemon. This Flaaffy does the same thing but for lightning. Now, as you can see, we're going with this. We're going to want to load energy onto our Rayquaza using this Flaaffy. And then just do a whole bunch of damage turn after turn after turn. Now, actually, a lot of people are saying this card is actually more reminiscent of Electric. That is actually very, very true. This card is literally the exact replica of Electric. Actually, I think I might have a Electric. Let me just go find. Alright, so I actually found the Electric as well as the old Rayquaza EX that this Rayquaza is very, very similar to. But here is the Electric. We have 90 HP. Same ability, Electric Ball, 50 for 3, Trick Offs to 2, Weakness to Fighting. This is literally the same thing. HP of 90, same ability, 50 for 3, and Retreat Offs to 2, Weak to Fighting. So These are literally the exact same card, besides the name is the exact same thing. And here's the Rayquaza VMAX. Dragon Burst 60 times. Discard all basic fire energy or all basic lightning energy attached to this Pokemon, and it does 60 damage. For each energy card you discard in this way. So it's a lot like this Rayquaza V and Rayquaza VMAX. Yeah, I just went and found those from my collection I had. Because actually these two actually came in a battle deck, kind of like the battle decks, but a little bit worse. Anyway, back to the deck profile. So we have 4 Flaaffy, and we're going to need 4 Mareep as well. Actually, a really annoying thing is that this guy only has 60 HP, which is really annoying because since we died to Inteleon, and since this deck is Sword Shield on, I should have said at the beginning, this deck is Sword Shield on, then Inteleon is a very, very powerful deck, and they can just snipe your Mareeps. So that can be kind of annoying, but these are the only Mareeps we have. The only Mareeps we have, we actually have 2. We have one from Darkness Ablaze, and we have 1 here. The only Mareeps we have all have 60 HP, though, so we play 70 HP one. But a full 4 line of Dynamotor Flaaffy. And now the last 2 Pokemon we have, we're going to have 1 copy of Crobat V and 1 copy of Kricketune V. Kricketune, I think, is really, really nice. You could play a second Crobat over Kricketune. I saw a list that did play 2 Crobat. I think Kricketune is just a little bit better because, you use Rayquaza to discard draw 3, and then you play a couple cards. Maybe you play all 3 of your cards, maybe even 2, and you can decide stage for even more cards. This deck can draw a lot of cards on one turn. You can research, exciting stage for a couple, and maybe double Sky High Waves in one turn, which is just going to be a lot of cards. You're going to be able to really easily build up a whole bunch of Flaaffys, as long as you don't get sniped or something like that. But yeah, that's going to be it for the Pokemon. Now going into our supporters. We have 4 research, pretty standard, as well as 3 Marnie. This is something to note. I found I actually started off this deck with no research. I only had 4 Marnie. Eventually, I changed it to just 4 research and 0 Marnie. Then I found out I was consistently drawing into really dead hands with Sky High Waves. It was like, okay, I need a Sky High Waves. I just need 1 card. I get none of it. Not even a supporter card. So I'm like, okay. But I think it's very, very important to have a decent amount of draw supporters. Maybe even 10 draw supporters. This deck only, let me do the math. Well, it only has 9 draw supporters in it. But I think it really is beneficial to play as many draw supporters that you like. That is like not possible because you can play so many draw supporters. But as many draw supporters as that is necessary for your deck to function. Because I felt like I was constantly drawing into nothing or dead hands at the start of the game, drawing into nothing with Sky High Claws or drawing nothing at the start of the game. So having a decent amount of draw supporter cards can be really good. So we have 4 research, 3 Marnie. I would actually consider a 4th Marnie as well. 3 Boss, in case we want to Gust. And we have 2 copies of Zinnia's Resolve. This is a new card that was revealed. You have discard 2 cards from your hand to play it, but you can draw a card for each of your opponent's Pokemon to play, which a lot of times is going to be drawing you 5 or 6 cards, which is really good, actually. Drawing 5 cards on a supporter card is really good, and drawing 6 cards is insane. I don't think we've seen anything that can really do that after Colress. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Colress is the last really heavy draw supporter. But there's another draw supporter that we can play. If maybe you want to cut a Zinnia for a 4th Marnie, that's alright too. But I'm going to go with the 2 Zinnia, 3 Marnie split. And yeah, and the last card we have is 1 Rose. This card is really, really good because in combination with your Dynamotors and your turn attachment, this Rose can really help you reach the numbers. I mean, you need turn attachment and 3 Flaaffys to actually reach the Mass KO range. So that Rose can just give you that extra push. There's been a lot of games I played where it's just like, okay, I need to get my Rose so I can do enough damage on this VMAX. And I have my Crobat, 2 Rayquazas to do it, which is very, very doable, especially if your deck is like this big from already doing a bunch of Sky High Waves. And Rose, the good thing about it is you discard your hand, but it doesn't matter because you can just Sky High Waves and get 3 new cards. So Rose, I think, is really, really good in this deck. And again, I would consider a second one of these, but this deck is kind of tight in space. We have 3 Stadium cards. This is going to be a new Stadium card, actually. This card is very, very good. It's Stormy Range. Basically Brooklet Hill, but for Dragons and Lightnings. Once you're trading, may search your deck for a basic. Once during each player's turn, that player may search their deck for a basic lightning Pokemon or basic dragon Pokemon and put it onto their bench. So this can help you set up your Mareeps turn 1, and pick out your Rayquaza as well. It can basically pick out like almost all of your Pokemon that you want to have out first turn. And yeah, it's definitely a very, very powerful card to have access to. We have 4 copies of Quick Ball, because once again we want to be able to establish. Usually the ideal turn 1 setup is 2 Mareeps and a Rayquaza V on the bench. That's very important because you want maybe to be able to use Dynamotor to it. So we want to be able to set up as many Pokemon as we can, so we have Stormy range and Quick Ball to do that. And as well, Stormy range, Path of Peak just destroys this deck because it lets you not be able to Sky High Waves. So Stormy range can counter those Path of Peaks as well. We have 3 copies of Evolution Incense. We can get our evolutions. I mean, the majority of our deck of evolutions are draws in evolution. The majority of our draws in evolution. Our energy acceleration is an evolution, so we ought to be able to get our evolutions when we want. When we can get them out and get them rolling, so we can have them out for the rest of the game. We have 3 copies of Switch, and 3 copies of Air Balloon. Now I was playing with 4 Air Balloon for a little bit. 4 Air Balloons is definitely not bad, except I was drawing into them way too much. But we're just playing 3 Air Balloons so we can have a pivot, because our Flaaffy went silver to the bench, so we want to be able to have that pivot. Usually you can attach it to a Kricketune. That's another good thing of playing Kricketune. Say your Rayquaza VMAX gets knocked out, you can put it up in the active with an Air Balloon. Not only do you get to use a whole bunch of, maybe 2, usually if your Rayquaza gets knocked out, you're not going to have access to 1 Sky High Hurricane, but usually you can just exciting stage for 4 and Sky High Hurricane in 1 turn, as well as a supporter. Your guy got knocked out, and maybe just you have that switch you can go into as well. But 3 switches as well, just because sometimes our Rayquaza are going to get knocked out, and we want to be able to just switch into something with Air Balloon and Dynamotor to it and bring it back up. We have 2 1-of item cards before our energies. We have 1 copy of Level Ball, because Level Ball searches out our Flaaffys and our Mareeps. This is definitely something I would consider more of, maybe even 1 or 2 more, but I think 1 more is something that I'll be comfortable with. And then our last card is Energy Search, because it's post-rotation, and Energy Spinner is rotating, which means we have to use the next, which is Energy Search. But the reason I'm not playing Aurora Energy over this Energy Search is I actually had Aurora Energy in my original list, but Energy Search is usually going to be better than Aurora Energy because your Rayquaza's only discard basic energy, which makes this 1-of Energy Search better. You can just search out energy, and you get it in your deck as well. I guess the only upside to Aurora Energy would be able to discard electric energy to use Dynamotor with, but you have plenty of discard outs anyway. You have Sky Hurricane, Quick Ball, Research, so you'll be fine. Oh, and Zinnia Resolve, but so you'll be fine. So that 1-of Energy Search is not going to be bad. And we are playing 3 copies of Fire Energy. We have Rose to get them back, which is, I think, the reason not to play a 4th one. I think that's also the reason you can play an Energy Search over the 4th Fire Energy. And I've had no problem drawing them. It's fine. I think the only time that having 3 Fire Energy is really going to hurt you is when you have, say, your 2 remaining Fire Energies and your Rose in your hand. That is going to be a little bit scary. That is a hand you maybe don't want to Sky High Hurricane. Probably been saying that a whole bunch. That's probably something you don't want to Sky High. Oh my gosh, it's so confusing. Sky High Waves away. Maybe just save that hand so you can get that 1 Fire Energy on your other Rayquaza, and then Sky High Waves that hand away. So 3 Fire Energy I have found is fine. We're going to have 8 basic Lightning Energy. Again, if you want to have more Lightning Energy, go ahead and add it. But I found no problem with 8. 8 has been fine. I've been hitting them a little couple times. I'm like, oh boy, I priced 3 Lightning Energy, and I'm a little short on energy, but that's usually not going to be a whole lot of the time. But yeah, that's going to be the deck. It's good to download it so you can see all the energy. There you go. Yeah, that's going to be the deck. I think Rayquaza is a very, very powerful force to be reckoned with. Just being able to just 4 energy one-shot anything is crazy. Getting 4 energy out is easier, a lot easier than it sounds, especially with Sky High Waves being a discard out and a out to draw more cards. Yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys liked it, if you guys If you guys liked it, if you guys want to see more, then don't forget to subscribe. And if you guys want to see posts like deck list results and stuff like, not deck list results, tournament results and stuff like that, and definitely head over to my Twitter at Professor Pokey. Don't forget those 3 S's, very, very important. Yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys liked it, I'll see you guys in the next one.